Hello, how is everyone doing? I'm okay. I had a nap tonight. Yeah, let's see. How can I wait for everybody to come on? Somebody comment. I have the ambient room ready and I decided to go with the snow one tonight because that's what it's doing outside. So I might as well do it for the ambient room as well. Okay. So we have Bethany here. Hi, Bethany. How are you? What are you reading tonight? Or what are you doing if you're not reading? I am reading The Librarian of Boone's Hollow by Kim Vogel Sawyer. I am 17 chapters into it. I just started it last night, so got a bit. It is set in Kentucky in 1936, and we are following Addie, who was at university in Lexington, and Emmett, who graduated from Lexington University, and they didn't know each other when they were at Lexington. But now Addie has ended up in Boone's Hollow, where Emmett is from. So I'm curious what's going to happen. So, Gina, hi, how are you? And Bethany, I got the Dive Team Investigation Trilogy at Second and Charles for $14. Oh, that's an awesome deal. And I love that series, as you are probably aware. Hi, Susan. Hi, Christina. And she says hi to everyone. And Morgan, I'll be reading Christmas at Sugar Plum Manor by Roseanne M. White. I was just watching Taylor's video from Tales and Treats, and she just talked about that book, and I had never heard about it. So, Susan, I love the Dive Team series. Yep, it is a good one. Elma, I really like The Librarian of Boone's Hollow. There is a second book too. I haven't read it yet. I thought I'd heard that, but I wasn't sure. But we'll see. It's really cool because it starts in Lexington, and I've been to Lexington, and then she talks about how her parents live in Georgetown. I've been there, and it was like I'm recognizing some names. Hi. I'm reading Christmas Games and Candy Canes by C.P. Canias. Courtney reads. That is funny because Taylor was just talking about that book too in the one that I was just watching. Oh, that is funny. 2 books already mentioned. Alma says hi to everyone and happy December. I can't believe it's the last month of the year. Yeah. And I have a feeling the month is just going to fly by. Like, yeah. Looking at the calendar today for work and stuff, things that have to be done for Advent Sundays and things. And I'm like, that's like that. Wow. Like, December is going to fly. I read Sugar Plum Manor last year and I really liked it. Hi, Rachel, saying hello from Wisconsin. I'm reading Acting Mary by Martha Keyes. Cute so far. The only Christmas book I've read so far, which, I mean, not really December, I read it Sunday, was A Royal Wonderland by Liz Johnson. It's just a short little novella. And Elma, I'm going to be reading Christmas at Harrington's by Melody Carlson. That's the one with the little kid looking in the window. Or the girl, maybe, looking in the shop window, right? That's that book? I have not read it. I have read very few Melody Carlson books, actually. Bethany, I might join later, headed home for eating out, and we need to talk about our Christmas shopping. Yeah, we haven't really talked Christmas here much. We have not decorated for Christmas yet. Yeah, maybe this coming weekend, I think we'll put our tree up, I think. Yeah, you know. Elma says, yes, it's a woman with a red coat looking the window. Okay, that's what I thought. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. Okay, so I am kind of battling a headache tonight, so I don't know how long we're going to stay on or whatever, but I did nap between supper and now. So I'm hoping that will help. But right now we're just going to dive right into reading because I want to get some of this book read. I did find a wintry scene because it is wintry outside here, so I figured it was time. Okay, it is 8:05, so let's go till 35, and that would be a half hour. And Okay, come on back. That is the end of our reading sprint. I'll take off the banner. So, how is everybody doing? Did you get some reading done that sprint? I had a pretty good sprint. I got 2 chapters read in The Librarian of Boone's Hollow, and I'm really liking Addie and how open-minded she is to things and accepting. And I'm feeling for Emmett of what he's going through. So that is my update on that. Then, because I finished the chapter and I wanted to see how the hockey team was doing, because in Canada we have Tim Hortons hockey picks, and so it's like a game. You pick 3 players who are going to score in the games that night, and if you get a pick right, you can get points towards Tim Hortons coffee. And if you get 7 days correct in a row, you get 7 days in a row, you get a week of free coffee. And I was sitting on 6 days as of last night. So when I made my 3 picks today, I was like, okay, did one of my players score? And one of my players has already scored. I mean, it's possible for more of them because one of the games hasn't even started. But one of my players scored, which means I've had 7 days in a row, which means I get a week of free coffee starting tomorrow. Yay. Now, it does mean I need to take special trips to Tim Hortons to get that free coffee because I don't normally go to Tim Hortons. I don't pass one on the way to work or anything. So it's kind of, I really have to go out of my way to do it. But I'll do it for coffee. So yay. Okay. Let's get back to the comments. So I'm sorry, I don't know your first name. I want to say Tara, but I don't know if that's right. So T21 is reading A Girl's Guide to the Outback, but not sure if I'm going to keep at it. I've heard about it, but I don't know anything about it. And Christina is, hope your headache stays away. Happy reading, everyone. Yes, I hope so too. I've taken some Advil and I'm drinking some Coke, and caffeine always helps. So yeah. And I picked up 3 Christmas novellas, one by Karen Wittemeyer that you recently talked about. I'll be starting that one next. What Christmas novella by Karen Wittemeyer did I just talk about? Oh, that's funny. So I have on my TBR for the month of December, Under the Texas Mistletoe, which is 3 Christmas novellas by Karen Wittemeyer. But she also had a novella release in September as part of a collection with 3 different authors, like with 3 authors. She was one of them. A Gift of Hope, I think it's called her. I don't remember the actual book's title. But I said before, because Karen Wittemeyer is an author I'm trying to read to 0 this year, and I said I didn't think I could get the new release, but I have found it on Hoopla, so I can get it from the library. And Annie, I'm reading A Christmas Hope by Anne Perry. Well, I hope you're enjoying it. And Kev, oops, I'm late to your sprints. Immersed in a book and just finished it. Well, yay for finishing a book. At the Edge of a Dark Forest by Connie Alamani, a Beauty and the Beast contemporary retelling. Is that Christian fiction by any chance? I recognize that author's name, but I can't. I need a fairy tale retelling for February. I will be depending on Taylor for sure. But and hi, Jamie. How are you? And Tabitha, hello. I'm reading Holiday Homecoming Secrets by Lynette Eason. Pretty sure that is one I need to read. Not read yet. And Lucy is working. Oh, kind of expected that. But we say hi to Lucy anyways. And Annie says, can't hear you. I think that's because I was on a sprint and I was recording a clip for my blog. So my mic was muted, but hopefully you can hear me now. Hi, everyone. I missed that sprint. I hope there's another. Yes, there will be another one. And Katrina, hi, just joining. Annie got to 16%. Elma, I read 1 chapter and was talking to my husband about the books I'm reading. Well, good. Anyways, I hope you are feeling better. I actually spent the sprint chatting with my cousins. Well, That's good. Morgan got 1 chapter read. Bostein, I finished my book. Yay for another finish. Guarding Her Christmas Secret by Jill Weatherholt. And Lee finished her Bible reading and got a few pages in These Silent Woods. And Anne says, congrats, I love Tim Hortons. Yeah. And Alma says, Ken's hockey team is playing tonight, but it's so late at 10 p.m. I think, if I remember correctly, you said that Ken's team is Vegas, right? I think, which is the other game that I'm waiting to start to see. And for me, I think they start at 9 for me. No, they start at 10. Maybe we're in the same time zone. Huh. Tabitha, I didn't read that sprint, but I did work on a family photo book. Well, that's productive. Good. And Annie says, congrats. Always fun to win something. It is. And it's so funny because I have 2 friends who play this game regularly as well. So we're always kind of checking, like, did we copy picks today? Or, you know, how did you do compared to my picks? And they have both won a week. So now it's my, like, finally. Okay, Terry. Terry, I was close. And Anne, hi, my name is Anne, and I'm new here. Well, welcome, Anne. And Elma says, welcome, Anne. And M says, it was the collection of 3 authors. Okay, so it's the newest one, which, why could I not think of the title of it? And Cav says, it is a Christian fiction novel. Ooh, okay. I wonder if that's the same author that wrote, didn't read. Wow. The name is just, I can see the book cover, but the name has just lost me. I'm going to look it up. Because I remember really enjoying it. It was like set at a university. Connie. One Among Men. Yes, that is the same author, right? That was the author's name? Yes, I mean, I gave that 5 stars. I read it 10 years ago. But yes, okay. Thank you. That will help me for February. And Alma says, I should try to read all the Sarah Sundin books on my shelf. Yes, you should. Do you have the Wings of Glory series, I think it's called, Distant Melody? That's the book that introduced me to Sarah Sundin, and I have read her to zero until her new book comes out in the new year, and I'm amazed. And have I done an author spotlight on her yet? I don't think I have. I think she's one of my next ones to do, actually. And Jamie, I'm tired. It was my first day back to work after 10 days. Oh, yes, that would make a long day today after being off for 10 days. And Caitlin's here. Hi, everyone. Just joined in. Well, hello, Caitlin. Nice to see you. And Elma says, yes, Vegas. Okay. And Jamie, 12 days to go before Christmas break. You just had 10 and now you're counting down already. That's funny. Christmas time is always crazy. Yes, this week is homecoming, so it's crazy. It's Spirit Week. It be the light today. It be the light day today. Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about homecoming or Spirit Week, really. That's not, I mean, we don't really do that as big as it seems to be in the States, so I don't know. Or maybe I just wasn't that much into school and paid attention. I don't know. Yeah. So what do we chat about? Okay, yes, I read the first book in that series, so I need to finish. I have to say, when I read that series, I only had book 1. I did not own books 2 and 3. And as soon as I finished book 1, I'm like, I need my hands on book 2 and 3. And I binged that series. I was just so invested in the brothers. Yeah, And I fell in love with her writing. And yeah. Okay. What should we chat about tonight? Yeah. So basically, I'm doing sprints tonight because I wasn't planning on doing sprints till the 9th, but then I was looking at the December calendar and my husband's schedule has changed a little bit. So I'm like, I can't do sprints that night. I can't do sprints that night. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we're going to do it tonight. And then we're going to do it next week, the 9th. And then that will be it for December. So that way there's still 2 in December, which was my plan to have 2 a month. So that will be the plan because, Christmas break kind of messes everything up. And then he has extra time off that we weren't expecting him to have off and just changing the schedule. So, yeah. And Lee, me too, Jamie. 3 weeks until Christmas break, and the kids are crazy this time of year. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just more, wow, I have so much to do before the end of the year because I'm working in bookkeeping as well. And so our year end is the year end for all the finance stuff. And yeah, just a lot to do. Have you read any books by Rachel Hanna? I don't think she's a Christian, but I've heard her books are clean. I do not recognize the author's name, so I don't think I have. I'm so terrible with completing series. Well, I really thought for one of my prompts to put finish a series, so to read the last book in a series, because I love series and like, let's finish the series we started. But I thought that might be a little challenging for a lot of people. So I decided not to do that. So I just put in a series. I would like to figure out which series I have started and where I am so I can start reading them. I have a series tracker I use, and that it lists like all my series and how many books are in the series, if the series is published to date or if it's still in progress, and then how many I've read. So then it automatically calculates how many there are left to read, what percentage I am in that series, and then I have check boxes for up to date if I'm going to DNF that series or I just haven't even started it yet. So all my series are on there. Then on another tab, I have each series listed out with the actual book names so I can see. And then I can color in. So like I, shade in the box once I've read the book so I can see how many. I love it. But I also love spreadsheets. So, and I did not create this one completely from scratch. I used a few different ideas that I found online and then created, like kind of combined them to create what works for me. And M says, me too. I need to make a spread in my new reading journal so I can keep track of them. Yes. I do have something in my reading journal as well for them, which obviously is not a spreadsheet, but it's nice to be able to see how I'm doing and how many. But what I don't like about that is I have to manually count how many series. It doesn't automatically tell me how many series, whereas my spreadsheet, I can just open it up and say, I'm currently reading 29 series. Yeah, 29. That's a lot. Actually, I don't even think that's up to date though, because I have not updated it in the last. I finished at least one more book, I think, that fits in there. But yes, that's a good idea. Yeah. I love series. I think it's because I don't want to say goodbye to characters or community members. And most series continue, or you see past characters show up in future books. So that's what I really like about series. That's my favorite part of series. But yeah. Okay, so we are at 850, which is actually a pretty even number. So let's see. I did a video about how many series I started, and it's way too many. Yeah. I did a video too, and it's really grown. But I mean, my series spreadsheet says I have 50 series that I started at the beginning of the year or have added throughout. I have 50 series listed on the spreadsheet. I am currently up to date in 21, and I'm currently reading 29, and I've DNF'd 5. So does that really add up to 50? I don't know. That's the way it should be. But yeah. So 42% of my series are up to date though, because it tells me that. So that's actually pretty good, I think. But we'll see. Oh, and your comment took me off, and I was like, what are you talking about? I get it now. I agree. It's like a community you visit again and again with a series. Yes. I was like, we weren't talking about a community, but I was. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah, that's why I love series. Okay, so Christina, yes, when I enjoy a series, I finish it. What's frustrating is when some of the books are not as good as the first one, and it's hard to keep going because I've invested so much time. Yes. But I have found my trend seems to be, now this is not always true, but my trend is book 2 is usually my favorite of the series. Like when you're talking like trilogies or even 4 books, book 2 always tends to be my favorite. I don't know why. Now, that's not always true because in the Wings of Glory series that I was talking about earlier by Sarah Sundin, book 1 is my favorite. But I think I'm also attached to that book as well because it was my intro to Sarah Sundin and I fell in love with her through that book. But yeah, book 1 is. And then like Hope Harbor is by Irene Hannon is 13 books currently. I think it's 13 currently. Let me check because I have my series spreadsheet open. So let's look. Hope Harbor. Oh, why have I put so many? It's 11 books currently with book 12 coming out in the spring. Oh my gosh. And book 11 is currently my favorite. And book 3. I loved book 3 as well. So, I mean, there's exceptions always. And Emma's laughing at me. Yeah, go ahead. Jamie, I think book 2 is usually the worst in the series. See? Like, it all depends. And Annie says, it depends on whether I have access to a book on Libby or the library. So often I start a series and can't finish it. I asked for books from a series for Christmas this year, which is out of print. Ooh, that might be tricky. So Elma asked, on your spreadsheet, which series has the most books? Okay, I don't even have to look at my spreadsheet to know this. It is the Psalm 23 Mystery Series by Debbie Vigay. It is a 23-book series. And book 23 just came out this month. Actually, I don't even know if it's officially. I pre-ordered this series years ago. And I think I was at book, I think might have been at book 10 when I pre-ordered the whole series. Yeah, and I just got book 23 Sunday night, I think it was. But besides that series, which is a mystery series, and that one, the next one would be the Hope Harbor series by Irene Hannon at 11 with book 12 coming out in April or March. I think it's April. And then it would be Rodeo Romance with, oh, wait. Oh, no, never mind. I thought I was reading something wrong. Sorry, the next top series would be Rodeo Romance by Shanna Hatfield, which currently has 13 books out. 14 is coming out in December. So that is the next. And then the Hope Harbor series. Those are my long series. And Rodeo Romance is a contemporary romance series, just like Hope Harbor. Other than that, yeah, the other ones are all like multi-author, like the Doors to the Past series, the Heroines of World War II, and the True Colors Suspense series. But they're all multi-author and they're not really series. But yeah. Okay, so Jamie says, I love Hope Harbor. I need to go visit Charlie in his taco truck. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if I'd want a fish taco personally, but that's just me. I'm not a big fish person, so maybe that's it. And Christina asks, is the Hope Harbor a romantic suspense? No, it is a contemporary romance. Most of Irene Harper's, most of Irene Hannon's books are romantic suspense, but she has this one series that's contemporary romance. And Alma, 23 books. I think I have the first one, but I haven't read it. The Lord is My Shepherd is book number 1. And what drew me to this series initially, I mean, it's suspense, it's mystery with a bit of romance. But every book is titled by a line in Psalm 23. And so the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And then book number 23 is forever. So it ends the whole psalm. It's really cool, but it's about a church secretary and a Jewish rabbi are kind of the main characters in the series, and the synagogue and the church are next door to each other, and that's how they meet. But in book 1, the church secretary walks in on a dead body in the sanctuary. Okay, I work in a church and have worked in a church for years, because before this job I worked at a different church, and so when I read that book, and I'm like, I think about it so often. Walk into the church building, I think about that book so often. Okay, M says, it sounds interesting to me. I need to search it out. And Jamie is answering Christina's question that no, Hope Harbor is not romantic suspense. And Terry is reading The Tales of Grace Chapel Hill. It's a 49 book series. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is a long series. Are there any Christian suspense series with no romance? Annie asked. I'm thinking Carrie Stewart Parks writes suspense. It does tend to have a little bit, but very, very little. It's more hinted at, the characters get together, than you don't see it happen. See, I read mainly romantic suspense, not just suspense. I will have to think about that. And Anne says, sounds like a great series. Yeah. It's interesting for sure. See, I don't know if I would count. Yeah. I really have to think about that. I'm sure there is. Okay, well, now that we're almost at the top of the hour, which is fine, let's read for another half hour. So we're going to go till 30 after. So for me, it would be 9:30. We'll mark where we left off. Oh. Okay, come on back. That is the end of that sprint. How did everyone do? To where I left off. I got 3 chapters exactly read in this one. I just finished the 3rd chapter. And I'm not liking a certain character. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, so where did we leave off? Right here. So Caitlin says, I haven't read any of C.C. Warren's books, but I've heard that they don't have much or any romance. Yes, that is suspense. So Annie had asked earlier if there, I think it was Annie that asked, yes, Christian suspense with no romance. And Annie says, thank you to Caitlin, and I'll check that out, and Carrie Parks too. Caitlin says, you're welcome. And Annie said, I should have also said with a woman as a main character. I'm sure there are plenty of male writers writing men mysteries. And Jamie says, I've read book 1 of the Holly series by C.C. Warrens. There's no romance, but it's hinted at. And then Jamie says, it's the same with Carrie Stewart Park books. With the Gwen Macy series, a romance eventually comes into play. Okay, and that's a 4-book series. I have not read that one. I own book 1, 2, and 4. I do not own book 3 yet. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I remember from my Carrie Stewart Park books I've read, that is not, you're not seeing the romance develop, but it is hinted at. Okay, and Hannah asks, has anyone read Remarkably Bright Creatures? Is it any good? Maybe somebody else can answer. I have not read that one. And Tabitha read about 30 pages. Alma got another chapter and did the dishes. Which character don't you like? Benita. And Cav, why do I always like debate how I say it? I started The Heart of Bennett Hollow by Joanne Bishkoff DeWitt. Beautifully written. And Terry says, my son called and interrupted my reading. Oh, well, it's fine. At least your son called, right? Yes. Yeah, right? That's her name? Yes. I feel for her with her home situation, but I don't like how she's treating Addie, or even how she's treating Emmett. Like, I just, yeah. But she's young. And Christina was responding to Hannah, no, I haven't read that book. And Katrina got my dishes done. Good for you. And reading book 2 in the Timeless series. Yeah, that will be read next year. Book 1. I don't know about book 2. Book 1 will be read next year. Kev says, I've read 2 suspense books by D.L. Wood. Female heroines, but no romance. I've heard of that author. There is one book by that author that somebody recommended to me that I wanted to read. I can't think of the book now, but yes. So there's another suspense with no romance. And Anne is continuing The Mistletoe Countess by Pepper Basham. That's another book I need to get my hands on. I have book 2 and 3 of that series, and I do not have book 1. Yeah. So Katrina says, I enjoyed them, but they're not on my must recommend list. Ooh, interesting. You are an unpopular opinion with that one. Well, it's not that, I mean, you enjoyed them, so it's not like you completely dislike them, but. And Kev, also Robert Whitlow, some of his books are from a heroine's point of view. Yes, I thought about him, but I don't know if I would say they're really suspense per se. Maybe a little bit, but they're a lot more law based and a lot of legal stuff, right? But yeah. And Alma, I am also listening to the Mistletoe Countess on audio this week. Look at that, you're reading the same book as Anne. Nice. I've heard this is the perfect time to read it, even though it's not really a Christmas book, even though like the title kind of makes it seem as a Christmas book, but yeah, someday. Bethany, I'm here not reading, but book shopping online. Well, that's okay too. So many places are having their sales from Cyber Monday. They end soon, so I need to make just some decisions. Yeah. I was looking at Book Outlet last night, and because the sale ended this morning, I'm like, okay, if I'm going to place an order, I need to place it tonight, like last night. But I didn't end up placing an order. There just wasn't, I liked, like, there was books I was interested in, but you gotta have free shipping. I don't want to pay for shipping. And I'm like, there's a book I could get, but I'm not like, it's on my want to read list, but I'm not dying to read it. So, and my coupon that I have is good for another little while yet. So maybe something else to come in. Yeah. I'm like, if I keep going back and forth, that means I don't really need them. So I did not place it. I was good. Jamie, I've read D.L. Wood, but it's been a minute and I don't remember much about it. Okay. Bethany says Tyndale is having a 50% off site-wide sale. It ends at midnight. Lots of great fiction over there. Yeah. I don't know if they ship to Canada, honestly. Yeah. I do look at christianbook.com every once in a while because they do ship to Canada. I mean, we pay for it, but yeah, I've also, as I said to my mom last night when I was talking to her while I was looking, because I was trying to get her opinion on a certain Bible. And I'm like, I did tell myself I was not buying any more books this year. Like, I'm done. My shelves are pretty full. Other than I have room on my historical fiction. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to be good. Mm-hmm. Annie says thank you to Jamie. And Anne says, Alma, I'm listening to it also. So look at, not only they're reading the same book, but they're reading it the same way. That's funny. That's awesome. I should have had topics planned, but I didn't. And what do you want to talk about? Did you see my reading challenge announcement for next week? For next week, not next week. For next year? Do you like it? Do you wish there was a prompt I didn't have? Like, give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts. If you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, well, that's okay too. I am not officially participating in Bookmass, but I will have more videos this month than I have been having. I mean, I've had quite a few recently, but I will have more in December for sure, because all my vacation videos will be coming out very, very soon. I mean, they won't be coming out at once. I'm going to put them, I try to put them out maybe every other day, every third day, something like that, with a book video, maybe kind of in there. I don't know. But they are very, very close to being done. I have to create thumbnails and I need to add one portion in one little bit. But other than that, yeah, look for them coming very soon. And Elma says, and the audio is really good. And Jamie says, I like it. Thank you. And Bethany says, I watched your announcement video today. I've never actually participated in a reading challenge, but I'd like to hear what other people are doing. Well, fun. Fun. Yeah, my plan personally is to do one book for every prompt. That is my plan because I read quite a bit, so I should be able to find 24 books that fit. Plus, if I need to come up with recommendations, I want to come up with possibilities that also fit the prompts. So if I can come up with possibilities, then I should be able to read 24 books that fit. We'll see. And Elma says, I thought your reading challenge turned out really good. A lot of good prompts for us. Good. Because I didn't put the finish the series, right? Caitlin says, I love the challenge. So excited to get started on it. And Caitlin just announced the challenge today. I have not watched it yet, but she did just announce the challenge today. So go check out her channel. And Katrina said, I saw the video. I already picked out my books. Most prompts I could work into books chosen for other reading challenges. Well, that's awesome. Had to add a couple extra, about 2 books a month. Wow, you are on top of it, girl. Good for you. And Bosine, I liked the reading challenge. Each prompt was creative. Yeah, some of them really were. And I was like, especially like the ones that were given to me by the booktubers, I was like, how am I supposed to match this up with something? Like, what's this going to work with? That is where I struggled the most on it. And when I was telling my mom that, or telling my mom, I think I was telling my husband that I think I made this more difficult for myself, trying to pair up prompts. And Cav, I must check out your challenge. I've seen Oshina's and Chantel's so far. Well, it just came out Monday, yesterday, December 1st. So yeah, it just came out. And Terry says, I'm looking forward to your videos coming soon. Only saw Chris and Bookchams doing Vlogmas. I love the year you did the envelopes. Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. Actually, my husband and I were just talking about it tonight, and he asked if I was doing it and had I done Bookmas. And so we were talking about it. And the year that I did the envelopes, so that was my first Christmas on BookTube. And I was currently not working. I was between jobs at the time. And so I finished my job at the beginning of beginning of November. And I didn't start my new job till January. So I had the time. And my best friend, Christine, was editing the videos for me at that point in time. And she had just had hip surgery. So she was off work. So, I mean, it worked perfect for us to do it then. So yeah, I would like to do it again. Like, I really enjoyed doing it. And I keep thinking that would be a fun, like, advent calendar type thing, is to do the envelopes and do them. But I mean, I'd have to start it early if I was going to do it as an advent calendar thing, so that I could, edit and put them up in time, right? And I was I spent way too much time on the vacation vlogs, editing them. And then I got a new computer in the midst of that. So that really pushed them off, kind of, because I was struggling with the old. And yeah, and then this year, it's like, I don't know what happened in the month of November. Like, it just started and then it ended. And it's like, wait, what? So hopefully, I'm thinking maybe just the 12 days of Christmas. That will be like between like Christmas and then have 12 days of videos. I don't know though, because that sounds like a lot too. So I don't know. We'll see. Okay, and Caitlin said yes. I'm sure she finishes it later. Alma, yes, her challenge is good for indie authors. Yeah, I actually don't read very many indie authors. I really should, but I don't have access to a lot of them. So, I mean, I currently have Kindle Unlimited, so I could read it that way, but yeah. And Anne says, yes, I'm planning on participating in your challenge. Good. And Chronicles. Caitlin, I'm like, I don't have to read your channel name. I know what your name is. Said, yes, I did. It's to promote and read indie books and authors. Yes. And Caitlin says, thank you to Alma. And Katrina says, could you tag the envelope challenge? I would love to watch it. On my channel, go to the playlist, and it's Bookmas 2022. And all of those videos are there. So playlist, Bookmas 2022. And that's the envelope ones. Yeah. And Terry says, I think we love all that you do. I love your vacation vlogs too. Thank you. I'm really excited about the vacation vlogs coming out. Me and my husband watch Tyler Braun. He changed his channel name. Tyler Braun, so the Braun family. And so he has a channel and she has a channel. And so, but they do all their vacation videos on his channel. So Tyler Braun is his name. And so we always watch them. Like, every time there's a new one come up, like, we watch it like that day or the next day. We just love them. And so as I was watching them, because they just had some videos come up recently, and I was like, ooh, I should do the video that way. So he's really inspired me on how to edit my vacation vlogs. So yeah, I'm excited. And M, I am so happy you asked me for a prompt. I can't wait to start the challenge next month. Yay! Yeah, I kind of made it a little challenging on myself because I'm participating in like I'm co-hosting Epistolary January. Then I need to find a book that's dual timeline. And I can recommend a book that fits the epistolary and dual timeline. I don't think it'll be a hidden gem though. Well, I don't think so. It was up for a Christie Award this year, so I highly doubt it'll be a hidden gem. But so now I got to find books that fit. So I got to start thinking about that soon. Yeah. Okay, we are at 9:45. Let's read for another half hour. Go to 15. Oh, I don't want to do that one. Wait, what other? I was like, what banners do I have that we're going tonight to 20 after? I don't know why. It's just what I typed. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's read for another 30-ish minutes. Okay, that is the end of that sprint. Come on back and tell me how you did. Are you enjoying your books? I read another 3 chapters and a little bit in this one, and we have just found out Nanny Faye's story, and oh my gosh. It reminds me a lot of the start of The Christmas Bargain, which is one of my favorite books. Just Nanny Faye's story, not the actual book. And look what I got. It's a physical copy of The Christmas Bargain by Shanna Hatfield. Yay. Okay, where did we leave off? So Alma headed out during that sprint and said, everyone have a blessed night. It was great with reading with everyone. I said goodnight to Alma. Anne said goodnight to Alma. And then Caitlin said she was heading out and have a blessed night, everyone. And Terry said, I will have to check out the bronze. I will have to check the bronze out. My husband and I watch Tampa Real Media and Traveling Robert. I will have to, I think my husband has watched Traveling Robert, but I've never heard of the other channel. Tampa Aerial Media. I just got it. Wow. As I'm writing it out, it's like, oh, I know what that means now. Oh, that's funny. Okay, I'm just making a note to check. Okay, and I drove home from my cousin's house and just walked in the door. Well, good timing, but I'm sure there's stuff you have to do now that you got home. And Stormy is here. Hi, popping in to bop the like button. Hope you're having a great night. Well, thank you. And M said hi to Stormy. And Katrina said 10 pages. I had to mute my phone because I kept getting notifications to spam emails. Yeah. And Annie got to 28%. And Katrina says, I have the book you are currently reading ready to pick up at the library. Well, go and get it. I am enjoying it. I really like the Kentucky setting, and I really like 1930s, not wartime, kind of in the midst, like, yeah. Okay, so Terry said, A Girl's Guide to the Outback appears to be new age based. That's why I'm not feeling it. So have you decided to DNF it then? Yeah. Or are you going to push on and carry through? And Stormy says hi to M. So yeah, I am really enjoying it. I'm liking the characters, and I like how considerate Addie is. And I've made good progress. I have made it to, I didn't end at a chapter break that time, just a person break, if that makes sense, because it switches perspectives between quite a few different people. So I've made it to chapter 25, which is 218, and it is 360, I want to say. Nope, it's not. Oh, that's the epilogue. Okay, so 344. So 216 or 220. Wow, did I say where I was? Oh, because I was looking at the top of the chapter. So I'm on page 220. It's 340, so I have 140 pages left. And Christina says, I didn't get any reading done this time. I took my dogs outside. Well, they probably needed that. And finished up packing lunches for tomorrow. And Terry says, thinking I'll push on, but avoid the author in the future. Yeah. I can picture the book, but yeah. Well, sometimes that happens, right? I think that's why I'm such a stick to the authors I know. And once I mean, I'm a person, once I find an author I really enjoy, I want to just binge their books. I've gotten, since book two, I don't do that as often because I kind of read a wide range of authors now, but before, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I think we're gonna do one more sprint. It's 10:25 here, so I think we'll do one more sprint and then we'll call it a night because I'm really tired. Even with my nap, I'm really tired. So I feel like it's time. But I want to keep reading, so I'm not gonna call it a night yet. So I think plus I feel like I don't know I'm not a small talk person. And because I don't have subjects or planned, I'm like, what do I talk about? And I'm waiting for you guys to say something for me to talk about, which shouldn't be the case either. I should be able to fill the blank space. But Terry says, absolutely, I'm going to take your advice on authors. Yeah. But branch out. Like, yeah. That's one thing. That's one thing I've learned. And I've discovered new authors because I've branched out and not just stuck with the authors I knew. Um, so yeah, like, I mean, this year, well, this year I discovered Michelle Shockley, and I've now read 3 books by her, and 2 of them have been 5 stars. Last year, was it last year? Maybe it was 2023. I discovered Amanda Cox, and I've now read 4 books by her. I'm trying to think if there's a book I haven't, like, that I don't own that I've read by her, but I don't think so. I've read 4 books by her, and 3 of them were 5 stars. So I mean, like, yeah, gotta try new authors. Because before I used to just read, like, really, it was Lynette Eason, Terry Blackstock, Irene Hannon, Robert Whitlow, Dee Henderson, and Shanna Hatfield I've read for a number of years too. But yeah, so, but I mean, now, like, you can't really see because of the way my screen sits. I can't really move it a lot. My bookshelves are a little full, but okay. It's because I have a double monitor set up. So I have my laptop and then I have like my main monitor for everything. I had double monitors at work and I've had that for a number of years. So that's what I'm very used to, and can have multiple tabs open this way and stuff. So, but because of the way the setup is, you don't really see the books so much. But okay, now that I've chatted and got off the comments, let's go back to the comments. So Christina says, no worries. Terry says, gotcha. Jamie says, I started crafting, so I was only half listening. That's fine. Making shirts for tomorrow's Spirit Day. And Katrina says, that is one of the things I like about BookTube. You have others pre-reading the books so I can avoid certain authors or try new ones safely. Yes, like that's how I discovered some new authors that, oh, I think that author would be for me, or I don't think that author would be for me. And Christina says, I usually go by recommendations. I'm into romantic suspense and sometimes historical fiction. Yeah, I really got into historical in the last few years. Like, it used to only be romantic suspense with a little bit of others, but I really got into historical. And I think I've read more historical than suspense this year. I think. At least in the last half of the year for sure. And Anne says she got to 17%. And M asked Jamie, what is the theme? And Lee says, do you make a plan to read new authors each year? Yes. Actually, I should make that one of my goals, but I'd have to look to see. I know one year it wasn't like a written down goal, but it was like, I want to read at least 10 new authors this year kind of thing. And I ended up reading like 20. Um, but I own a lot of books by authors that would be new to me authors, right? So that would be reading books I own as well as. So I should look and see. I wonder, do I have that spreadsheet open? Because yes, I have a spreadsheet for everything. I mean, it's really all on one spreadsheet. Yes, I do. So on my spreadsheet, on where I record my books read, right? So I know how many books I've read this year, what genres they fall into, what settings they are, all that kind of information, when they were published. It also says, are they new to me author? So far this year, where's the figure? That adds it all up. Okay, maybe it doesn't. Wow, I realize how behind my spreadsheet is. It says I've read 142 books, and I actually just finished 147. I think I need to get caught up. That's funny. I didn't realize I was that far behind. I can't see where my new author list is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 new authors so much this year. So, yeah. Okay. And Christina, yeah, I don't know what it is to do without two monitors, right? Right? Yeah. And then people talk about editing on their phone and stuff. And I'm like, no way. Give me a monitor. Okay, M says, that's how I found BookTube, searching for books I was curious about to see what others had to say about these books or authors. Yes, totally. That is how I found BookTube as well. So I was watching YouTube for years, I would say. I watched a lot of travel videos, I watched a lot of beauty videos, a bit of lifestyle. Those were the main. And then I was already involved in like a Christian fiction blogger group. And I was like, I wonder if people do videos about this. And I was looking for Christian fiction authors. And that's how I discovered BookTube. Okay, so Jamie says the theme is White Lie Wednesday. I'm making a shirt that says retired. Okay, nice. So Terry says these are great ideas regarding authors. I realize I love historical fiction and never would have guessed that. And Katrina says, is this a spreadsheet on an app or one you made? It is one I made. Again, I looked at a lot online. A lot of booktubers have shared different spreadsheets and stuff. And so then I took like elements I really liked and made my own spreadsheet. But I had, even before that, like I had a spreadsheet, just a very basic spreadsheet. But yeah, and I think almost every year, like I never used to track where the book is set. And now the last 2 years I have tracked that and I've really enjoyed it. And so I added that to my spreadsheet a couple years ago. And so every year I'm kind of adjusting things and tweaking it a little bit. But yeah. So Jamie, then to harass one of my classes that is always asking for food, I'm making one that says, I don't feed the feral juniors. Nice. No food for you. Is that, I don't know. The no soup for you comes like, I don't know if that's Seinfeld or if I'm just making that up. I don't know. It's not a show I watched a lot. Okay. So Jamie says, I would love to see how people have set up spreadsheets. Yeah, I don't know if I could figure out how to do that. I mean, I could do it on a live, I suppose. I'm not exactly sure how to record my screen and to actually be able to get you to see it. I will play around with that and see. That might be an interesting for like a end of year stat as well, like what my spreadsheet looks like and kind of what my stats are, and add the 2 books I'm missing. That's funny. Okay. So M said, okay, thank you, Seinfeld. No soup for you. Okay. That is, I'm like, was that Seinfeld or not? Oh, that's funny. There's certain things like every once in a while, my husband and I will just search on YouTube and find like a quiz thing or whatever, and it'll be like different subjects. And every once in a while, there'll be like a TV, guess the theme song or guess a clip from a TV show or something, right? Or a saying or something like that. And it'll come up and it's like, it'll be a show like we've never watched ourselves, but you recognize it because it's so familiar, right? You see it around or you see the quote or whatever. Yeah. So Annie says, I keep thinking Jane Eyre about not getting soup. I have never read Jane Eyre, so I don't know. And Christina says, yes, that's a good idea for a video. Yeah, it is, actually. I should do that. Okay. Make a note. Make a mental note. Figure out how to do it. And Jamie says there's an app called Loom that can be used for screen recording, but I'm not sure if it's only available for educators. Well, I did figure out something for screen recording for, well, just in my last TBR video, how to record my Goodreads screen. But when I was in the editing, it didn't look great. Like, I don't know how well you could read the screen actually. So yeah, I should figure that out. And Terry said I would love a spreadsheet tutorial. Well, I don't know about that. I love Excel. Like, it is my favorite computer program. And people laugh at me because of that. But it just is. But I'm also a numbers person. So it just makes sense that that's my favorite program. And so, but I constantly tweak it. I constantly like to go back and teach somebody how to do it or find formulas. I do a lot of searching online. Like, I know there's an Excel formula for this. What is the actual formula? Because sometimes, like, once I've set up the spreadsheet, I'm not using them a lot, right? So it's like, what was that formula again? How did I do that? So Lee says, could it be done on StreamYard? Yes, that's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm thinking. And M says, I took an Excel class in college. It is so good. Like, yes. And Jamie says, I was going to ask if you use Excel or Sheets. No, I use Excel. Yeah, I am a Microsoft person. And then I don't know. I've tried to use Sheets. I just don't get it. I mean, it's like it's the same, but it's just a little bit different. And because I've used Excel for so many years, back in the day where you bought the program and brought the CD home and put it in the computer and installed it, and it wasn't like a subscription based. And yeah, plus I use Excel for work and right, like it's just I know that's showing my age a little bit. I mean, before the internet was around, I remember the internet becoming a thing and dial up with the tone and yeah, yeah, not a little kid. Okay. Okay, I wanted to do one more sprint. Now, see, you start me on Excel and yeah. Okay, it is 20 after 10. We are going to go to uh, a sprint. I'm like, what are we gonna do? Wow, I'm getting tired and losing my mind. Let's just go to the top of the hour. It'll be a 20-minute sprint. I have a banner already made. Look at that. Okay, so let's read for 20 minutes, and this is our last sprint. Okay, that is the end of sprints for the night. Thank you for joining in. And how did you do? I made pretty good progress. During that sprint, I read another 20-ish pages, maybe 17 pages, something like that. So I have now made it to chapter 27. I only read 10 chapters. I started on chapter 17. It feels like I read so much more than that, but I wouldn't consider them long chapters, but I also wouldn't consider them short chapters. Does that make any sense? So I started on chapter 17. So page 146, and I'm at 236. So 90 pages. So, I mean, that's pretty good. That's not bad. I'm still really liking it, but wow, the people are closed-minded. Yeah. Okay, where did we left? Okay, so M said, I watched You've Got Mail the other day. All those AOL dial-up sounds brought back so many memories. Yes, definitely. And Jamie says, they switched us to Google, so I've gotten used to Google that when I try to use the Microsoft products, I struggle. I still pay for Microsoft. Yeah. So Katrina got 7 pages, read end of chapter 3. You're doing better than me. Well, that's okay. And M says, I think chapter 10 chapters is great. Yeah, it just didn't sound like a lot to me. So I don't know. Yeah. Annie says, thanks for the author suggestions. Libby has some of them, so excited to start a new series. Well, yay. And Terry says, thank you for doing this and have a blessed night. Well, you too. Thank you, Terry. And thank you everyone else for coming. I will be back next Tuesday, December 9th, for the last sprints for December for myself. I'm sure there'll be lots of other people doing sprints. And so, yeah, thank you, everyone. And I hope you have a great night and week. Take care.